Hey, we're live.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Miss Shin is back with us. Today we're going to talk about Asian invasion. Is that right, Miss Shin?
Yes, I am. Yes, it is.
All right. So uh, let's just. Well, I actually don't know anything about it. um, what you were saying about something? You were about to say something?
Oh no, it was just Asian invasion. That's it. And also, I'm getting this streamed over to my own Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook as well. So
Oh, nice, nice. You paired it. Okay, good, good. All right. And thank you, Christina, for providing a link for Mission. And here she is providing all the links.
yay! Thank you, Christina.
Yeah. So thank you. Christina is awesome. Christina is awesome.
Hmm.
All right. All right. Now, I know you worked on a comic book before. I remember that. And let me see. Hold on. Let's see.
This is one of them.
Hmm?
This is one of my. You said you worked on a comic before, and it's like, yep, demon bitch.
Yeah. 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 Demon bitch.
Yeah,
Okay.
demon bitch. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like a
Yes.
lot of people. Oh, go on. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. I thought you were going to ask a question.
Oh, last time you were on, one of the things
Oh, you froze.
I got,
Now.
sorry, I got disconnected. I got disconnected. Sorry,
Mhm.
I'll occasionally disconnect like that. And but anyway, so you have to forgive me if I get disconnected. I don't know why my internet occasionally disconnect like that.
No, I
Uh,
hear you.
anyway, the last time we made a video, we were streaming and you made a I mean you re you basically told the story about your uh, cancer stuff, right? I mean
No. This was something else. This was other stuff that I was working on. It's like with a Kickstarter and everything.
yeah. Anyway, I was one thing that this Restream has is what they call a AI clip. It
Mm-hmm.
takes all your live stream and take a clip of it and
Mm-hmm.
you know allows you to publish that as a shorts.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing that, you keep on cursing, and the short will not go out. Short will not. Ah, well, that's okay.
Oh well, yeah. No, I get it. It's like if I had known not to curse so much, I would.
Well, actually, with the today we had a CJ. He cursed and it went out okay. So I guess
I don't know what it is. Maybe I actually, when I curse, I actually curse people or something.
well, maybe not. Probably it should be at the end of the. Well, you couldn't control that because it randomly captures the clip. But
Right,
it should be near the end, wherever the clip is. But
right.
so tell us about this Asian. First of all, this Asian invasion.
Yeah. Asian
Yeah.
invasion is essentially. I started this out like when we were getting out of COVID. So I think you and I are on the West Coast. Well, at least I know I am. The West Coast, and the West Coast, what ended up happening was is that the Omicron variant had hit, and they're like wanting to redo it again and again and again, and it was like not cool, and it basically canceled cons, and I said, well, that sucks because everybody was really upset about it. So I said, okay, fine, this is whatever, this sucks, whatever. And so I went ahead and yeah, into my chat, I'm messing with the timing of that. So sorry guys if it's like spamming the hell out of it.
Mm.
But what it was is that I did, oh God, shitbird, there you go. So one of the things that happened was that since the Omicron virus like kept hitting and everything, not over and over, cons got canceled. So what ended up happening was is that I just decided to do Asian invasion. There was some racial stuff going on about Asians and the COVID virus, but actually what was funny is that I just kind of just did it to kind of thumb my nose about, just how you are as an individual and you're Asian in your own community to just how America perceives you. And it was just thumbing the nose at all the stupid stuff that goes on. It doesn't necessarily mean it was like hostile or awful. It was just like funny. And so I just wanted to show how each of us were and how we were different as people, as individuals, as not only because like if you're growing up and you're the first generation immigrant, I mean, I could say you could argue this with anybody, but if you're the first generation immigrant kid that like grew up and you're the first American citizen in your family, you're kind of held to a different sort of standard. So one of the standards is like, you have to follow your family standard. I think that would be true of Korea and whatnot. You'd probably be aware of that. And then it would go on from there. And well, that's what happened. And I decided to just kind of showcase us as people. And comics were kind of rebels, right? And artists. So there's that, because that's what I had to be. And it kind of took off because people really wanted to be part of it. And it grew up to Northern California and all that other stuff.
Mm. You know, I, I had a because of I have three younger sister,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep. I mean, my oldest of the younger sister, she's 2 years younger than me. Youngest is about seven
Mm-hmm.
years younger than me. Anyway, um, I had my parents were qualified to get their. They went from green card to citizenship. Um,
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're there. You're there. Hi, Kenneth. How are you? Doing good. Thank you.
Sorry about that. I got disconnected again. There's Loke. All right, Loke. All right. This is better. This is
Hey,
better.
love. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I
Doing
am
well.
just working as usual. You know how that is.
Yeah, and all that stuff's happening down in LA there. It's not helping, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, luckily, I'm not in the thick of it, but
Yeah.
I know it's kind of affected some things as well. So it's kind of been the least annoying. The other bit is a little bit disconcerting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. But
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
dealing
it
with
like actually was. It was interesting because people were saying, "Well, there's riots. There's no riots." Now, if there wasn't any widespread riots, no, there wasn't. Not like last
it. It's just an isolated area. That's what I know, and that was
yeah.
it. But
It was initially started. It was initially started in Paramount, Compton, and downtown LA, from what I understood. Then
yeah,
I started watching like streams of people actually on the ground,
yeah,
and as that progressed, it just got centered more to downtown LA. So
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
in the city proper of LA, not LA
yeah,
County. It wasn't all.
yeah,
I think people would they don't understand is that LA. They think LA. It refers to sometimes generally the county in the area, and then there's the actual
yeah.
city of LA.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, so I mean, yeah, so it's like I'm kind of explaining it to people because people kind of don't get it
Yeah,
because oh, it's LA. No, it's not LA, and it's like okay, so all that stuff happened in downtown LA
yeah,
and Paramount and Compton. Then Paramount and Compton, I think, from what I understand, kind of died off
yeah,
mostly. Those were the three big hotspots, but downtown LA was still somewhat volatile.
yeah, yeah. I
So that was the city of LA. I think
yeah,
that's what it would be, downtown LA. So
yeah. The news out here makes it sounds like the whole place like they don't understand LA either. I know. I
yeah,
I live down in Costa Mesa,
so
and
yeah, you
I tell everybody like, yeah, I live
right,
in
right.
LA. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right, right, right. So it's like, yeah, you get it. So I was just like, well, it's kind of complex because like my
Right.
parents were like, oh no, it's like in LA. It's okay. I don't live in downtown LA. Don't worry, mom and mom
Yeah,
and dad.
yeah. That's good. That's good to hear. It's not
Yeah.
affecting any of your like convention runs or anything like that right now.
Actually, it kind of has because I found out there was IGN Live, which
Okay.
actually did have a few comic people, and from what I understand, some of the people that I knew that knew other people, it actually did affect their customer base because that was around where also the No Kings protest was.
Right.
And I don't know where it was exactly, but it was in downtown LA, and it sucked a lot of the clientele because most everybody was over at the protests and everything.
Right. Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's like I think there was a combination, from what I understand, like at least in downtown LA, it got very crowded.
Yeah.
But there wasn't too much popping off because compared to the other ones for the population density.
Right.
I don't know why, but every demonstration or whatever it was, they like to go and crowd down into the 101 and stand on the freeway. It's like, guys, just stop doing that. It's
Yeah, I
stupid.
know. My buddy's having issues trying to get from like North Hollywood down to like Irvine.
Yeah, it was like there's this one area called on Arcadia Street. It's like an
Yeah,
overpass,
I know what
and
that
then
area is.
yeah, like I am kind of like illustrating it to people, and then all of a sudden, all these people just go down on the freeway all the time, every time there's a
Yeah.
protest or demonstration or whatever, and I'm like, get out of the stupid freeway, guys. Just
Yeah.
so it was kind of interesting that way.
Right.
So I'm just,
I noticed you're running a new project. Congrats.
oh
And,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so what it is, it's a Kickstarter. It's called Stupid Things.
Okay.
That's the name of the campaign. And I'm actually funding the omnibus and a new graphic novel. So
Wow.
the new graphic novel is Dumbass Express, and the omnibus is called The Most Mediocre Collection Ever.
Right.
And the mediocre collection will be a hardcover. I was usually most of the time I know when I'm going to run the Kickstarter by, but I was originally going to do it in February, but there was just a lot of stuff happening, like with the tariff wars and everything, and people not knowing certain shortages. So I just said, okay. And it wasn't like most of my stuff is produced domestically. So tariff wise, I was okay. It was stable. But the thing is that a lot of people were kind of upended about it. So it's like they
Yes.
didn't know how to spend their money. So it was sort of like I had to kind of wait because everybody was all over the place. Everybody was panicking. Everybody was freaking out. The shipping and all that, it was affecting people's pockets and everything. People kind of didn't know what was going on. It was one thing after another. So I said, let me go ahead and wait until it stabilizes. So I let it stabilize. And so far, I'm looking at 1 to 2 months. I'm going to start advertising. If not, doing
Okay.
my campaign. I've got to prepare for San Diego Comic Con as well as Asian Invasion as
All
well.
right, San Diego Comic Con. I forgot about that. That's coming
Yeah,
up.
that's a week after. It's not
Yeah.
the next week; it's the week after that.
You're
And
gonna have the book by then, do you think, or
I hope so, but I mean, at this point now, it's like it kind of threw off of how I'm going to do a campaign. But
okay?
if I do it the same year, I think it should be okay. It's just
Okay.
it's kind of annoying because I'm just like because I have to wait on a couple of people too because a lot of people's stuff in their schedule popped up. Like literally, this is the first year I ever had to deal with that.
Right.
So because all of a sudden, like, because some of my friends like wanted to contribute, but they were all across the world, and some parts of the world destabilized. So it's like, well, I can't exactly bug you to give me the artwork when you're kind of worried about stuff over there,
Yeah.
or other friends like had just personal life stuff happen. So I managed to get some artwork into there. I mean, the artwork for the book, my stuff, is almost 100% done.
Right.
But what it is that I finally got most of the artwork for Dumbass Express for the fan because I like to throw in some fan art. So I'm waiting on one more. So I'm going to see what I have to do with that. As well as for the omnibus, I might have to just like pop in some artwork, like of the character sheets and all that. Because at first I was going to do a short story for it. Then I was like with all this stuff going on, maybe I'll just do this and not the other thing, like do some character sheets in there.
Right. Okay. So this new campaign you're running is it an anthology? Or is it, I just jumped in. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
No, it's okay. So Dumbass Express is like a graphic novel like this guy right here.
Right.
So it's going to be the 6th graphic novel. The Most Mediocre Collection Ever will have the first 5 books, including this one, inside as an omnibus. So I
Right.
plan to make it hardcover and all that. But I also wanted to kind of wait on pricing the book too, because I've had not a lot of international shippers, but there are some. So I kind of also wanted the tariffs to settle down to see where it would go or whatnot to figure out shipping. And just also like the cost of everything. It had gone up, but certain things were going down, but certain other things were kind of going down slow.
Yeah, I was sourcing out some stuff earlier too, and
Yeah.
but I'm in Canada, so I don't have to deal with it. It's just
Yeah.
that some of the stuff that I'm like, a lot of the time when I'm doing printing and all that stuff, it's actually across the border, right?
Oh yeah. And then the tariff thing going on. Yeah. It's
Well,
like,
because the paper is from here, it drives
yeah.
across the border, it gets tariff, then it
Yeah.
gets printed, then the book has to come back, and it gets tariff. And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So you can see why, like, I kind of postponed it because people were
right.
like, and also I noticed some people were having issues, like when they would pay for the tariff, it would be like,
Yep.
well, wait a minute, I thought it was supposed to go down. So as I don't like to imply dishonesty by default to a lot of people, but either the shipping companies were not on top because the tariff wars were like fast paced, but number two, I think some shipping companies were kind of grifting
Yeah.
the stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So it's been kind of like, okay, well, all right. So that's why it's like now everything's kind of stabilized out, like especially with China and everything in terms of tariffs. So I think I can start advertising it because the thing is that when we price our books, we have to figure out cost, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I can
You
do
create
electronic copies. It's
overseas,
just not an issue.
overseas, or why is if isn't aren't you printing in the United States or are you printing overseas?
No, I'm printing domestically, but I do have some people that order internationally.
Uh,
Or like here, the shipping or the postage was kind of weird because of the cost of everything for a while. Like some things were dropping, but other things were not dropping so much, or they jacked up. And also, like, because of how everybody was managing it, other people were kind of hesitant to spend their money. That's another reason why I kind of held off on the
Yeah.
project because I noticed that a lot of people were kind of holding on to their money, and I saw people like kind of not funding as well as the Kickstarters until they normally do. So I sort of want to go out of my way to just kind of wait because last year I didn't do it because the economy was kind of not great either. So it was like kind of like people worked 3 times as hard to make 1/3 of the cost of money. And the Kickstarter is what I've observed. Now people are kind of starting up the Kickstarters again. And also I wanted to make sure my prices were consistent because like with the, some people had to increase their prices. And like, it not only did it hurt everybody's wallet, but it's like, if I'm pricing it and I have to raise my prices, that might not be what it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I wanted to let it be consistent where not only it did not break people's banks, like they were more in an economic sense to do it, but for me also, it's like, it didn't take more out of my pocket. Because I mean, a lot of common mistakes that people make in Kickstarters is like not doing the pricing right in terms of postage, or they don't figure out the actual true price of the book where they can they can both A, cover the cost, and B, make a profit off their book.
Right. Yeah. If you're lucky, you can break even. That's really.
Yeah, and it's like also like you hesitate because I hesitate because I wanted to add stuff on. But
Right.
again, tariff situation with China and all this, and just people's pocketbooks being affected by the tariffs, I was like, let me wait until it kind of stabilizes, then I'll start planning. That
Right.
way it's more stable and there's not this really crazy stuff happening out. It just normalizes out. Because I mean, it can't go on forever. It's normalized out now with China because there were big players. The two main ones that I knew of were essentially Canada, China, some parts of Europe, and that's it. But I wanted to wait because the Chinese printing or the printing in China, a lot of people were affected by them, also manufacturing. I think some printed materials were exempt in China for tariffs.
Yep.
And the thing what was annoying about, at least with the China tariffs when I saw it, was that it wasn't like one singular percentage. Like they would bandy it, but if you actually looked at the line items, certain things were tariffed higher than others. So it was like, okay, well, that's not going to help me. With Canada, it seemed like it was kind of more or less even across the board. So you knew what kind of to expect. But I said, you know what? Let me just wait. Everybody's holding onto their money. This seems like a trend. And I think in a Kickstarter or any sort of business you do, you have to kind of follow the trend of what's happening in the meantime. Like, how are people being? So earlier this year, I didn't see it as a good environment to run a Kickstarter at the moment.
Right. Like, how much of your project are you done? Like, are you ready to print, or are you ready?
I'm pretty much 99% ready to print. I just have
Nice.
to. I literally have to put in 6 pages.
Right.
And I was just waiting for content for that. But literally, I figured out the cost. I figured out how much it's going to be. I figured, but it's like I waited until the tariffs like eased up so people could spend their money.
Right. Yeah, that's a good sign. That's a good sign because I was classified as super backer this year, and last year I was just backing a lot less. Right.
Yeah.
Too many projects takes forever, and then like literally, I'm getting books now, and it's coming across, then I'm paying duties on top when before I never had to pay duties,
Right.
right? And now I'm like, holy smokes, this sucks. So yeah,
Right.
this year I'm
how that work? If I I let's say I did that a year ago, right? And finally it's a successful campaign. Let's say I submitted $20 for I contributed $20, and I was expecting to get a signed book. Let's say, right? Now, because of a tariff and all that, but book price went up to $30. What they will do to what they will come back to me and say, "Hey, would you pay $10 more?" Or this, what will they say? I mean,
it's for me, anything that cross from the US to Canada, I'm paying extra in
yet
either
the
shipping.
automatic deducted out of your
It's already they already collected the fund from the initial campaign, and the campaign was done, let's say, in October. They collected the fund. Right now they're doing the printing and all that stuff. By the time it gets to ship out the door, it's leaving in February or now, and by the time it gets across, the shipping's already paid for. But I noticed the some of uh, the what do you call it, the Kickstarter projects are emailing me, hey, shipping has gone up, you're willing to pay the extra $10, right? They already collected the damn thing, right? So I said, yeah, fine, I'll PayPal you the $10, right?
so basically they're saying we're not going to send it to you.
Well, I mean, I can request for a refund, but that will
Uh,
suck for the creator, right?
right.
Yeah.
And
And it
and
also depends on what country too. Yeah.
yeah, and a lot of it's in the U.S. That's
Yeah.
the problem. It's the U.S. problem. Because for
Yeah.
me, if I'm sourcing product, it's still cheaper for me to go to China. I don't
Mhm.
have any tariff to cover.
Yeah, because Canada and China don't have a trade war.
Yeah,
America has it with China and Canada. So
and
yeah.
the rest of the world, right? That's
I
the
mean, I'm
issue.
just those are the main ones right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the reason for it. But it's good that Christie here has the books done, right? That's
Yeah.
a reassuring thing that
That-
if I'm gonna back the product, I know the book is done,
Yeah,
right?
I make it a policy every time I run a Kickstarter. It's done. Like it's ready to go, ready to print. Because it's like I don't like to waste time in making something. Like I've had people come up to me and say, "Well, I'm a writer, do you think I should go and just start the Kickstarter now, use the Kickstarter to pay the artist?" I said, "That is the worst thing you can do because you will never finish."
Yeah,
And the thing is, it depends on like how much, and I've just seen those things lag. I
yeah,
said, the thing is that I'm not saying anything terrible about your artist. I'm not saying anything at all. Lots of good and reliable artists are there. So are writers, but it's just best to get it done, get it taken care of, pay your artist, just do all that. Because unless if you already have a big buffer or profit from your previous Kickstarters that you can pay your artist right away, a lot of artists aren't willing to do that anyway, a lot of the time because they've
well,
got it,
life will creep up too.
yeah,
Things
and
will
that
happen.
too. And it's just if you don't pay for it or whatever, um, it's kind of like, even though if you are the person running the project, the Kickstarter project, you have all the intention in the world. You're a very honest person, whatever. You're not a bad person, but I've just seen it. Just life creeps in, as you said, and it just takes it away from everything. So it's just, I just told a lot of people, especially that write and want to hire an artist, that do it first. Get your stuff done completely first. And if it's 95 to 99% done, run the Kickstarter because the last 5% is just little stuff you need to take care of. For me, like generally, I would go for that policy, but now it's just like, I just can't. It's just right now, especially with something like this, and this was totally unforeseen, I would say go and just get it done 100%. So it's 95 to 99% done. But as
Nice.
I said, I will not run it until and also I was trying to figure out what to do for stretch goals and things like that. So in a lot of the manufacturing stuff and designs that I was thinking of, it's like, I'm kind of limited now. There's all these factors. It's not that I couldn't run a successful Kickstarter. It's just more of, I'm going to work harder for the stuff I used to do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to go and just sort of do the thing, wait, do the books, do the planning, And then, when things kind of stabilize, I have an idea of parameters of what to do.
Right.
And that's pretty much what it is. And it's
What's
just like,
what's your Kickstarter? Can I ask what your Kickstarter goal right now for this campaign? Have
I
you
don't know.
calculated?
I kind of don't want to say, but I would say probably about 7,000 at least.
Okay.
That was how much it was generally for the last project. So I haven't included all the inflation and stuff. And again, this is the thing. It's like I also was hesitating because inflation was starting to go down. Hi, Jean or Jean.
Hey,
How's it
Christie.
going? Hello. But yeah, that's how I kind of figured it. It's just like, as I said, too many things were up in the air earlier this year. So I was like, okay, let me write it out, but I want to price it so it's not messed up or anything.
Right. And I think you're gonna. I'm finding that Kickstarter again. It is the climate, the economic, and the whole bit. I think you're gonna have a tough time trying to get people to separate their dollar from their
Yeah.
wallet and all the other stuff too, right? So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of like going, I should just wait a little
right,
bit, like wait until it stabilizes, wait until, and plus also everybody's freaking about this or that. I mean, we're
yeah,
currently have, hey, nice to meet you too, Christina. It's like also like, with this current thing with Iran, like everybody's tense about it too. So
yeah,
it's like everybody is quite distracted about everything. So
right,
I'm kind of like going, okay, like there's too much going on for people. Like people I've noticed like will have a certain amount of space to tune out or have the ability to tune out of the stuff going around. But since everybody's like, we just had the No Kings protest,
yeah,
we had the riots or the demonstrations or protests in LA, all three above. And then,
yeah,
we have like the stuff with like the
yeah.
tariff
The
wars
fire
and
too.
yeah, the fire in January. Yeah, it was weird because where I wasn't in any danger,
Yeah,
but it kind of was scary because it was close enough.
yeah,
Um, so it's like I was in the middle of three friggin' fires, basically.
yeah,
So it's kind of like it's weird because hey, K-pop. So it's weird because it's like I experienced this other thing, and again, I'm not saying this to detract from people that actually lost their homes. That's
yeah,
a whole level of suck that I don't think that I can compare to because I'm in my house, I have my home.
yeah.
But it was weird because I was talking to a friend of mine, and he actually kind of lives. We live in the same area, and we were chatting, and it was weird because like it was eerily very normal. The first 3 days of the fire were like, I can't go out
Hmm.
because it
Yeah,
too
that's
much
for smoke.
smoke,
Yeah,
air quality is
yeah,
terrible. And also the thing is that one of the roads coming through my town was an evac road for the canyons.
right.
So, oh shit. So I said, okay. So I stayed in my house for 3 days, and the other fires were going off how they were going off. But what was I got kind of really and it was weird because where I live, it was normal. Like people had their own, like
Yeah,
nothing has been. Oh, thank you, John. John or Jean, I don't know. I'm sorry, but it was like weird because I was feeling like depressed and really upset, even though like I'm walking out, I have my home. It's like normal. It was just weird. It was like we were in this bubble and everything just like burned out or whatever, and it died or whatever, and it was crazy. And I just sat there and I was like, I'm depressed or something. And so I sat with my friend, and she had lived through a tornado, I think in Missouri. Like it was bad. Like the whole town, half the town was leveled. Like his daughter almost died, but she was actually saved. Like a couch actually saved her from getting crushed in a building. But we were talking about it, and he says, there's some weird things in normalcy. He's like, what you're feeling is very normal.
right.
Because it was just strange because I was like, I should be okay. And I'm not berating myself, but why do I feel really upset? But you kind of just pick up on everything else, like
Right.
around you, even though I didn't drive outside of my town, I didn't go outside, I didn't go anywhere else just because it was just insane. Like people were, Gene, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Gene. Okay, very good, Gene. So it was like this weird sort of feeling that I had, and it was just it was like weird because it's like I guess in LA now because so much stuff has happened, you just pick it up in the air or something.
Yeah,
And it was very strange because it's like here I am surrounded by like all these fires, and somehow my where I live is normal. It
yeah,
was like the weirdest feeling. You wouldn't expect to feel upset or angry or depressed about it, but you feel it, and
yeah.
it's very strange. Um, and again, I don't want to equate my experience with somebody that actually lost their homes or it's a
Right.
burn zone or anything, because it's like I'm not. That's a completely different experience. That's terrible. But it was just the weirdest thing because it kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, my first experience with the big fire when I was down there, I forget what year it was, with the all the ashes even all the way went down to San Diego, right?
Yeah,
It felt like it
yeah,
was snowing. And I'm like, what the hell, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the sky went orange and the whole bit. But yeah,
Oh yeah. Like if I go back, I can send it to you because we're Facebook friends now, and
yeah,
Naaman, it's like I'll show you the pictures of the fire near my house. It didn't
right.
go up. Like I knew a dude in Tijuana. The fire literally went up to his house, and it was normal then.
Oh, jeez.
It
Yeah,
it didn't burn his house. It was really
right,
crazy, but it was spooky because like where I lived, it could have blown away. It could have blown it towards me or blew it away. And
right,
this time it blew it away because weirdly enough, like all of a sudden, all these gale force winds popped up and just blew it away.
right.
It was like really cool, but it was like, man, it was scary because I peeked out outside and it's like in the morning, it's super dark with a super red glow, and I'm like,
Yeah,
well, okay. It's like
yeah,
you kind of feel like the dog, in the
yeah.
fire and he's drinking the coffee. Like, um,
Everything's fine. Yeah,
yeah, this is fine. You know,
this is fine. This is fine.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, but you have to approach life like that.
Right.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
like, all right,
Yeah, going back to your campaign, a lot of your artwork is, I mean, I like that style, that stuff, right? Was it all done digitally, or was it all pen, ink? Did you have original pages, that kind of stuff? Um,
well, it's digital, and I do that for comics for easier editing because I write and draw my own comics.
right,
So it's like, but I deal like I'm actually working on some emojis right now because I've been kind of figuring out what stuff to do.
right.
But actually, like if you see it right here,
Yeah,
I
your
can actually
thumbnailing.
stick
Yeah,
ballpoint pen right here,
right.
and I just have this scribbly, scratchy thing to kind of work out ideas because since I'm getting into more streaming and more because we're in the digital age and stuff, so I do a draw stream called uh, Lunch Hour, and I do it at noon Wednesdays Pacific time, and I like I can do my cartoons every Monday and draw random stuff, but sometimes as an artist, you have to give yourself some sort of objective. So I
Yeah,
learned how to I'm learning how to do emotes, which are like little things for streaming. Twitch has them more commonly, but there's other emotes that you can do, I think, in YouTube and everything. Hey, Neil, what's up? Hi. Neil's cool. He goes out of his way to visit. I went to the Ren Fair with him and a bunch of his friends. It was funny because, like, he said, I'm running late, but go and meet my friends. And I said, sure. So we hung out, even though I never met these people before, but it was a lovely time.
So
And he can't manage to come.
you
He's like
have,
coming from a different part of LA. Hmm?
so you have more presence at the Twitch or IG or YouTube.
It's funny. Facebook, my initial page has the most, but on YouTube, I'm starting to get some as well as Twitch. It's just with streaming, you have to kind of persistently do it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to do it, and I try to put it cross-platform because some people graduate. I mean, not everybody's going to have a Facebook page. Amazing in this day and age, but or not everybody's going to have an Instagram, or they have Instagram only, or they have this one, or like a lot of the people that they know or their fans are either on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. And the thing is, Facebook is actually where a lot of my own stuff is, but I just put out stuff for YouTube and Twitch because like eventually it'll go in accrue. I do have a TikTok now. I used to really hate TikTok because I was like, I don't like TikTok, screw TikTok, whatever. And I just didn't feel comfortable because the servers were in China. If it was in any other country, I would have felt the same way. But as soon as like the servers were moved, not all of TikTok servers, but for the US crowd, I want to stress all the US based data, of the US citizens were moved to America. It's just due to like, your own private security and your identity and all your information because it's
yeah. But
very
you're talking about social media. Like the
yeah,
worst company in the world is Meta right now,
yeah,
and
yeah.
right,
And
so
well, I mean, it's interesting because there's a lot of layers. I'm from the Silicon Valley, but there's a lot of layers. So the thing is that with TikTok, a lot of the servers were in a foreign country, and that presented a security problem for a lot of people because they didn't want their stuff to be bandied and sold at a price, just in general.
Yeah.
So when they move the servers here to the US, it's not all their servers. It's just like a lot of Asian countries, some of them have banned TikTok for this, but a lot of Asian countries has insisted, okay, let's say TikTok's in Korea and TikTok is like they have servers in China and Korea's like, no, you give us the Korean data of the people that use TikTok in Korea. Now with Meta, I don't know how they do their servers, and yes, I think their security is not the best. A lot of people I know got hacked or know of got hacked. It is easy, um, but from what I understand, again, I don't follow tech all that closely, but I know enough. I think with every country that they're allowed in, they have to provide the servers for that country's citizenry that uses their their products locally. And I think a lot of international social media companies are doing that because then they'll be more widely used in that particular part of the country. Now, if it's like in another country where like I think Sweden is like the most neutral and the safest, most countries are okay with that. Otherwise, it's like, okay, I have a TikTok account. If I'm a US citizen, I want my data to be stored in a US based server. So like when people were going on about TikTok, it's like it's a lot more complicated, guys, because it's like even a lot of Asian countries, from what I've understand, some of them have banned TikTok for that very reason. And now what social media companies are doing at this point is that they're providing the localized servers in each country they're allowed in. That's the general rule that I've been noticing. So it's kind of another way of how countries establish sovereignty, because now since we're going in the cyber age, I mean, more or less, we're ready for it or not, you know, the new wars. I mean, yeah, there's still a standard method of war, but what we're graduating to is like financial, legal, digital, hacking, that's more there. And that seems to take a better precedent other than destroying a whole infrastructure physically and nation building something. We're moving away from that in general. That's what I've noticed. So it's a whole thing. I just kind of observed that, but yeah, it's just, so I have a TikTok now, so I'm on TikTok, I'm building, but it's interesting because you do get a lot of views after you accrue it, and you hit like a kind of a wall, but you keep going persistently about it, and you will get noticed. So it's a way of just kind of in a lot of social media companies and how you can optimize that. You can share across the board. You may not need to buy an app to just do it. You can, but I just have a system down.
Yeah.
Are
Something
you
hmm?
are you afraid of AI, meaning taking your job away?
Well, it's kind of funny because with AI, hey Brian, AI is interesting.
Give me a second.
And I'm in a cult, and I'm in a career like we're in a career where it is a thing, you know. Um, for me and my artwork, so AI extrapolates or compiles like a certain group of data, right, or certain groups of data. This is how I observe
Great,
it.
great. Then,
Yeah, like groups of data. So AI. So I think, and again, I'm not saying this to be dismissive, but in my observation, I think with stuff like this, for me, because of my art style, it's very different. Like it's just there, right? So it's not a very mainstream style. If you have a more mainstream style or popular style, like let's say Marvel or DC style, or a more classical kind of style, or a painterly style, it is more likely that it will be, I think it's skimmed, that's the word, skimmed,
it's
and
great.
extrapolated and put into a bunch of data.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be actually factored in. That's why currently AI has a certain look to it, and it looks very close to digital painting. But what I have not wanted to do is that if I see somebody that digitally paints, that I immediately say they were using AI, because AI, if you're an artist, you would probably know about this law. If it's a certain visual, it
Yeah.
has a
You
look,
you have that look.
you could kind of tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, or certain like glitches, like the six fingers, or like
Yeah.
if you're doing the film or whatever. So I think AI can be much more efficient. Now, will it replace creativity? I'm not sure at this point, because I think it may push people to do more what is it? Not or not. I don't want to say everybody's like. I think more kind of hyper original content,
No,
like more. I don't want to
for,
say niche, but that's the best way I can say it.
how it could be our models, for instance. Let's say I took photo of myself and
Mm.
use a Photoshop or something. Photoshop would have an AI tool, right?
Yeah.
And say, hey, convert me myself to what was the Japanese animation guy? What's his name?
Matsura.
Convert me into that type of
Yeah.
character, right? And
Mm.
you will take my resemblance and you will take image because I use my own photo. It'll be a totally new image, but it is using an AI tool.
Yeah.
Before, I used to be able to. There used to be like a YouTube tutorial on how to take a Photoshop, take a photo, and then hey, convert this into some style of art.
Mm.
And you had to take a several process to do it now, back in those days, which is like a year or 2 years ago. Now AI can just do that for you, right? Like that, right?
Mm.
And those are tools. So it's hard to blame those tools and say, hey, that's. But there's way for you to do creative work with AI. But when you're scraping data, whether you're writing or whether you're doing art, even the unusual art that you do, it can be emulated, right?
It would
And
have to have enough data. It would really have to have enough data to extrapolate from. And
yeah,
for so far from what I know, it kind of breaks it, my artwork, because like my one person I knew like kind of put Demon Bitch through some AI just to see what it would do, and it just screwed it up. It's like like it just like made it all messed up. I'm sure it's advanced since then, but for me, I think this is what I currently see. Again, it's like I don't know where it is. It's just that AI is merely. It's kind of like if you look at the old Star Trek Next Generation, and it's just like, okay, can you go and put together all the data regarding this? And Google's using that now, where you do a search like that, and then it pops up, and it just does the skimming and all that, but it just finds all the data instead of you physically going through it. I would object to that because I understand sometimes if you're writing stuff, it can be, really time consuming. So it's a way it's very efficient. Writing creatively, I mean, I've looked at samples of AI generated stories. Sometimes, like, I do look at the clickbait on Facebook to kind of see how it is. And it's kind of like generic. It's like, oh, yeah, and this. And it's like, it doesn't really have that emotion. It's flat. So at this point now, right now, AI in that creative regard, as well as art, it's very it's very flat. It's kind of like if I'm trying to think what is it's like the uncanny valley to me. Like when you have androids and like they had this one guy, I forgot, he was a Japanese engineer, and he's still alive, and at the time they sat him next to an exact replica of him, and how it moved, it was going to mimic its movements and everything, and it did it to a T, but it was just disturbing because it just didn't have that look that he was alive. It was animated, but it was like it was not convincing enough for a human being. Like maybe what would be more convincing would be if you go to Disneyland's Hall of Presidents and they do it, and it's actually kind of, but it's slight. It's not like they're trying to talk like a regular human being. They're just standing like, and they do imitate the movements if they have actual record of that president. Like the more modern day presidents, they can look at video and film of them and see how they move and how they act, but it's only very limited. And it's not that the android or the animatronic can't imitate it. It's like past a certain point of movement, like with small little gestures they can get away with it. But if you do it full on, see you, Neil, thanks for coming. If you try to go and make it more complex like a regular person like me, if you had an android of me, it may be kind of weird because it's like, here's me, Christie, and even if you have a direct replica of me as an android, it's going to be strange because like the look in my eyes won't be the same, even though if the eyes are the same position. It's just there's something empty or devoid of life. So there's that.
We're
So
as humans, we grew up looking at other humans ever since we were born.
Right. Right.
So that's how we know.
Yeah.
So when we look at something that isn't human, we know right away because
Well,
there's that innate thing, the little gesture, the little posture, the little right. That's how we recognize certain stuff, right? Certain looks, certain feels, like that emotion, the flush of the skin. Even though we don't even notice it, it's something in the back of our lizard brain kind of go, "That's a human being," right?
yeah, it's not like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
this? It's like, it's
yeah,
more of like the life behind the eyes and everything.
right, yeah.
All
It's just
right, all right.
So
Christie, uh, we're gonna talk about
yeah,
your what was going to talk about right at the beginning of the show.
yeah,
there's
Uh,
Asian Invasion, and then there was Kickstarter, and then I think there was San Diego Comic Con that's coming up for me.
yeah.
let's talk about Asian invasion. So
Yes.
what you started after COVID
Hmm.
because now what is doing now? What is the purpose of this group?
So what it is, I know we go off on tangents, which are very deep whenever I get into a conversation. So what it is, the purpose of this is to showcase Asian creators and artists and writers. Like I've had writers like Pornsat Pinchiote. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It's Thai, and I'm terrible at speaking Thai. I've had let me think else. I've had Norm Ratman. He's an inker and I think penciler. He's worked with Extreme, which is now not anymore, but worked with a lot of Image in DC. But it's not just famous people, but it's just creators that actually write and create and draw their own things. And I wanted to kind of showcase them in in it because I just thought, I like the dragon boats, I like the cherry blossoms, but after a while, I don't give a fuck, and I just want to draw. I want to have something that's about the people themselves. So it's not like, oh well, I'm showcasing that I'm Korean or Filipino or whatever. You can do that. It's not like no, you can't. But I wanted also to show that personal impression. Like Donna Gilio was part of it, or Donna, I think of Donna Gio. I think that's how you say it. I'm terrible. Like I one or the other. But he was there, and he does all the Spawn covers and the Spawn IP covers for Image virtually. So it's like, he was fine about being Filipino, but he was also fine about being himself, and none of them were like totally separate from each other, And it's just like, and everybody I chose had to be kind of an individual in itself. And again, I wasn't like opposed to cute kawaii things or that, but I mean, I did a lot of things differently. So I mean, here this stuff is different. Like
Right.
Demon Bitch is different. So it's like, again, I'm not looking for people exactly in my style because, mine is very different from anything else. But I asked people that had big followings to medium followings so that they had experience in selling themselves. But I also wanted to showcase people that would otherwise not have the spotlight they normally would.
So
So
it's a group made up to showcase Asian artists. That's it.
Asian artists and creators. Yeah,
Asian.
just like if they're doing something different and just showcasing them on that level.
Uh,
Or if they just have a good following, they have to like get more exposure. Like there's some people that had like a vaporwave type of look to their artwork. And I thought that was really cool. So it's like stuff that I actually found cool that you wouldn't really kind of think of in that context. Because I wanted to kind of break away from like, as I said before, I wanted to kind of break away from the standardized like, oh, please don't do that. Sorry, my orange cat was doing something stupid and he shouldn't have been doing that.
I
Yeah,
want
you do that every time. Sorry, he was scooting a bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's an orange cat. But he but going back, it's more of wanted to showcase an Asian individual, but I didn't want to focus like so much on their ethnicity, but not like not like the, oh, cherry blossoms, oh, this, oh, the dragon. I think those are cool and you could have them there. It's just, I was just kind of getting like, okay, yet another dragon boat festival, yet another cherry blossom festival, yet another this festival. And while I'm not like going and saying those festivals suck, it's like, I wanted to do something different.
yeah. So
So it's
you've
kind of
been
like,
doing this. I don't know. You don't. You've been doing since. Sound like you've been doing this since the COVID time, right?
yes, I have.
Yeah.
I have. And it's just, I've been very consistent with it. Yeah.
So that's how many. How many is are you? How many people? I mean, how big did you start with? And how many people are in the group now?
Well, I mean, right now we've had about 5 to 10 people. So it looks like I have spaces from up to 17 people
Mm.
because we actually moved to another area, which is called the Martial Arts History Museum in Glendale. And the guy's really nice, Michael Matsuda, and he Matsuda, not Matsuda, Matsuda, and he actually was showing me the space, and it's really cool because they actually have props and artifacts from masters and movies and such, like notable movies like Big Trouble in Little China, and Taekwondo. They show that show the Filipino. I think I'm trying to remember if it was the stick martial art or whatnot, but they showed Hapkido. They show all he showcases all of them. So I said, well, I mean, Asians. One of the big things Asians rose to prominence, and again, it's not like martial arts is exclusively Asian, but how in America we got to be where we were at in the public eye is martial arts. So I thought, perfect, great. And I've always been a fan of irony, so I just said, fine, let's just do it in the most Asian place ever. And again, it was just fun, to do. And again, I try to not be so overly serious about it. Like I take it seriously, but I don't want to be overly serious because like I grew up with a lot of really serious stuff. So it's like I want kind of people to be themselves. Like,
So
okay,
you gather with these people and you just have a picnic, have a meeting, or you sell something, have a convention,
yeah.
what is
What it is that each person will have their table and they will sell their own product. Like whether it be prints, whether it be artwork, whether it be creations of their own, like not their own, not collectibles per se, but just their own collectibles and creations and books. Like I'll be selling my books and prints and manufacturing, and my manufactured merchandise, but people can do that. They can showcase their artwork. It's like a lot of things. Like I've been trying to get some actors in there. Like I was thinking, one of my friends said, "Oh yeah, you should." I was like, "Oh, maybe Daniel Pacino would want to do that." If anybody doesn't know, it's kind of cheesy, but he was the original body model
Yeah.
for Mortal Kombat. He played all the ninjas and everything, and one of my friends knows him, but unfortunately, like doesn't live in California. So I'm like, oh well, forget it. But I yeah. So it's like people that I picked from different conventions and say, "Hey, you want to try this?"
so you're trying to form a convention with a kind of Asian theme in it.
Yeah, but not overly Asian.
Not overly, but I mean, you're asking Asian. I mean, you're asking Asian creators, right? At
Yeah,
least you're asking for that.
yeah,
With the how they how they how they fit in with this American culture.
yeah,
However they're doing it, you want to represent the Asian creators in this
yeah,
Asian
yeah.
culture.
It's kind of
That,
like one of those things. Like I don't want to focus on you being so quote unquote Asian, but you don't have to go away from it either. You just are you, and it's kind of like I want to take a slice of Asian diaspora and say this is how we are, and without being self-conscious, but also without needing to focus like, oh, if I'm Korean, I have to have tigers and shit and the flag and everything. It's like that's what I mean. It's like it doesn't mean that you can't have them. I'm not doing hard and fast rules like that. Also, like people that have Asian ancestry or half, that's fine too. I mean, I'll even have people that like work together and one is Asian and another is not. Like I'll be like, oh, okay, like, because like that person is Asian, it does qualify. Now, not, but it's like this, well, my girlfriend's Asian or my boyfriend's Asian, but they don't work with me. It's like, no, you're not doing the dipstick method. You're not like, I have to draw a line here somewhere. But if you have Asian ancestry, or if you work with somebody with Asian ancestry, that is in a company with you, then yeah, that is partnered with you. Yeah, you qualify. It's like that's fine. And again, it's like I'm not super purist about like, oh, how much are you or something. It's just like
That's
if you're partnered,
23 and me, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's the thing. It's like maybe if it's 1%, I'm like, okay, everybody's like freaking 1% everything. Come on, like
Right.
I don't know about you, but probably I'll have 1% African or 0.5 whatever, like white or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you're pretty much kind of like celebrating the Asian culture, kind of, but more of the individual themselves.
I think it's
The
the Asian slice of life, whatever
yeah,
you are.
yeah,
So
okay,
it's like, yeah, you grew up with your culture, but yeah, you also grew up being you.
yeah.
So
I grew up north of Toronto here. It's all
yeah,
hockey, and that's all I know, right? But
yeah,
I was born Asian. I just Like
Well,
show up with hockey sticks and ice.
Yeah, but it's like if you lived in LA or in the Bear
Yeah,
in the California area, and you were happen to be down there.
yeah,
It's just why not? You
yeah.
know, it's like so. I just kind of like decided to put kind of like a convention or mini con
Right.
where you can show off your stuff. You can like every artist like keeps their profits and stuff. It's just a completely free event for this year. I mean, they may charge next year for the event, but this year it's like they were really cool and say, yeah, try it out because it's their first time in this location too. So they want to kind of do a test run. So I've been just like plugging in and plugging in and plugging it. And, but yeah, it's like, you know,
doesn't the location will not cost you?
no, it doesn't.
Oh, it
Like
does.
that's why it's like the only thing is catch is like bring your own table, but
Uh,
that's just because of the facilities. But you know, most people are okay. Like I let people know ahead of time, bring your own table. This is the sizes we're going to allow for, and all that. It's like a 6 to 8 foot table, like the standard size. I
so
mean, they got chairs.
will people these artists come to and have a successful day at this mini convention?
Yeah, it's like a 1 day. It's a 1 day thing because like at this location because we want to see how it is. And yeah, I mean, it's like it seems fun, and it's like I figured, you know, why not? And it's kind of like the whole thing with the martial arts. It's kind of like, well, sure, why not? You know, because it's like in America at least, like you know, it's like that's an Asian thing. Even though like obviously there's other martial arts, like you have capoeira from Brazil. I think they do talk about it in the martial arts museum. But I figure why not have that? And it's kind of like this fun thing, like
That's
I mean,
cool.
come on, like with Bruce Lee, he's badass, but it sort of had that cheesy flair to it because it's like, but it was still badass. Like when he fought, I think the one is like Enter the Dragon. That was like his last movie.
Yeah.
So he had that. I mean, it was ridiculous too in a way, but it was still cool because like he could actually fight. He could actually do kung fu and all that. And it's like not a lot of people know, but Bruce Lee was a quarter German.
Yeah.
Like I looked up his ancestry. Hmm? Oh, sorry, that was my reverberation. But yeah, so there was that. So it's like he's a quarter German because I think his mom was half from Hong Kong and she was half German, and then his dad I think was from Shanghai, I believe. So like when they got together, he was like actually a quarter German. So I thought that was weird. I was like, I had no idea until I like read up on him. Like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Like not a lot of people know that. So yeah, he was a quarter German. So it's like, hey, he's this big Asian like hero star guy. So it's like sure. They have like other ones like, geez, they have like, they had a lot. They actually have some of the universe forms of some of the notable martial arts masters that were in movies and film too. So I thought I'd also, it would be kind of also nice to give back in a way, like to put more attention in the museum since they also moved from Burbank too.
This
So
happens
is
every year or once a year, something like that. Sorry.
go
It
ahead.
happens once a year. We do it once in LA and once in NorCal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So these events are so this is an event to attract people so that now you have already say 7 or 8 artists already in this group and they're going to set up their own table with their arts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whatever theme they decide to. Now, when you're promoting this event, like this taekwondo or martial artists coming in, is this part of to attract people in, or is it to just, or just to have fun? I mean, is it who's it fun for? Is it fun for the artists that joined, or is it fun for the people who's going to come to this event? Or,
I would hope that it's both. I would hope that it's both. Like, why would you go to a con? Like, okay, this is really boring, but I'm going to go to a con because cons bore me. Like, it
yeah.
has to be like really just like, I mean, I hope it's engaging. And it's also something, I'm more of a visual person. So I think more visually, I think it's going to play with people's eyes and interest them with the different people that I have there. And I try to switch it up. It's not that I don't want to have my same artists there or have the same people. It's just sometimes I like to switch it up because, you know, the community is always growing. So for me, I think it's like just keeping it interesting. It doesn't necessarily have to have the most famous people, but just like people that are there that are interesting too. You know, like it's like for me, it's like, you know, as I said, I'm always willing to like let a person shine if they've never done it before. But it's like, yeah, you have to have some sort of interaction with people. Like, It's weird though, because sometimes like when I don't interact with people, they want to talk to me. So I'm like, okay, but like it's like if you're somebody and you just do this all day, this is extreme. And I'm not saying that all artists do this, but it's like they don't do anything or interact. It's like, okay, well, you kind of have to talk to people, but you don't need to be a used car salesman personally.
Yeah, I mean, the yeah, just was wondering about how this. I mean, you say you've been doing it for 7 years, and
Mm.
oh, how long? How long? How long has it been? How
Mm.
long COVID has been now?
Oh
How
man,
long
it's
has
been
it been?
since COVID. COVID is like 2000. Okay, 2019 is when it happened. So 2021 when we were starting Get Out. So 21, 2022 about.
So about 3, 4 years.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years. I'm like, holy crap, has it been that much? Oh my god. So there you go on that. But yeah, it's been an interesting ride, and just kept going at it and doing the thing on it, and that's all I got to say about it. It's been good. As I said, it's been it's as I said, I can't say anything bad about it. It's been good. I've been very happy with how it's worked out and how it's been and how it's growing. So
How many
regardless.
people that how many people that started with you are with you still?
Let's see. Right now, some of them can't make it because it's so close to San Diego Comic Con. Right now, I have like there are people that wanted to do it, but they were like, "Ah, I can't," or something like that. But there's a lot of new people, and I've taken a look because like I've curated art shows before, so it's weird because kind of curating a con is kind of like curating an art show, but you have different artists that do things. So because of that challenge, I just got to try to see and put together people that I could use. So a lot of people, almost all of this is like an original lineup, essentially. So it's not that I was above asking other artists; it's just they didn't have time at that time, or people that I've worked with. It's just a lot of them, they just didn't have time then.
Me and Lok talked about this. Like for instance, if you want to go to a mall, you gotta have anchor store, right?
Right, right.
If you're gonna have a foot traffic, you gotta have Macy's at mall,
Right.
right? You gotta have what else? Macy's.
Target.
Target. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have these big malls that will bring in the foot, you know, people who walk in, right? And
Mhm.
you didn't mention like put what's his name? He's a he's a pretty big guy, right?
Yeah, Donagillo. Yeah, he is, but he's Northern California.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
And
I think Christie's what she's doing is it's not always bringing in the superstar because
right.
I think you did it at the martial art locations just to bring in new people to be aware
Yeah,
of these certain artists, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's the plan for it. It's like I'd love to have Todd McFarlane or Jim Lee at my table all the time, but that won't happen, right? I'd rather have somebody new come in because it's you have your repeating fans, but it helps, but it's you want to bring in some new people, some new blood to see these new artists. That's what the idea was, wasn't it? Like, wasn't
Yeah. Well, and I also view each artist as they're kind of their own individual store.
yeah,
So how healthy do they cultivate their following? Now, some people are like, "Oh, that means you just pick ones with 10,000 K followers." No,
yeah,
sometimes, people with 10K followers don't really have shit.
yeah,
So I'll be honest, like, so I'm not saying they bought their followers. I'm not going to imply that. But sometimes having a overly huge amount of followers is not a good thing, but it's just how relationship of what they have with their fan base.
yeah,
If they have like 2 to 3 thousand, or like I take careful look at the interactions too, because I look at it and say, okay, this person, they may not have as many followers, but they interact with a lot of people, so that's good. But then how is big is their spread? Sometimes like with a follower count, you can kind of estimate, oh, their spread's pretty good. I'm not saying I have tens of thousands of followers. Like I have probably about 3,300 right now on my Instagram, roughly. Does that mean like, but my interaction's good, but I know how to spread my stuff. So a lot more people, like, you kind of have to look at this balance, like a lot more people. If you have a lot of interaction, good, but if you don't have Jim Lee style interaction, that doesn't mean it's bad. You know, it helps, but it's not everything. What also is good is about your spread. So if you spread out and your spread is really big, that's actually a good thing because your content's hitting a lot of people. But not everybody will hit like on your content. It's not that they don't like it. Like, I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh, I've been following you for a while." I'm like, "What username are you?" It's like, "Oh, I don't follow you, but I follow you around, like on the social media." So you have to understand that your inherent numbers are probably bigger. But if you interact a lot and you have a lot of people interested in talking to you, and again, you don't have to tens of thousands. Like, I've had people that have had 10,000, they have 6,000. That's actually pretty decent interaction, you know? So I think it's not one thing that makes me figure out like what's good on social media for them. It's like, how's the vibe, like how's the interaction, like even if they don't have a lot of people interacting, like is their spread good or whatnot. So you kind of have to gauge, like, also, like, you could see from the picture sometimes, like, how good they interact. Have they had experience tabling? Do they have fans? Do they have, like, you have to take into account their streaming? Like, do they stream? Because sometimes that adds more to their account, even if they don't have like 10 million. I don't have 10 million freaking people like watching it, but I look at my stats and a lot of people look at it. The spread is growing. So I know kind of generally from my stats what to compare to other people's stats intuitively to figure out what's good and what's interactive. So it's a lot of factors because people go like, oh, well, if they have a lot of likes, and it's like, no, I've seen people with a lot of likes and they barely do shit at a con. Like,
Well, that's the thing, right? For me, it. You know, I might have
Excuse
2,000
me, guys.
followers.
I need to excuse myself a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys go ahead and continue.
Right.
okay, sure.
Like for me, follower count doesn't include the my commission counts, right?
Right.
And that's really what it is, right? I rather have the 400 people that actually buy from me almost every year or every stuff than the 100,000 followers that buys nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
A like doesn't mean anything if I can't make a living out of it. That's really
Yeah.
what that is, right? That's how
Yeah.
I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because now social media, it's not this one factor. People say, oh, if I got a lot of likes, it's this.
Yeah.
If I got a lot of shares, it's this. It's a combinatorics now of things.
Yeah.
Like, because some platforms will change their algorithm and curtail your numbers.
Yeah.
And I hear people bitch about it all the time, like on Facebook and all that. It's like, you just have to be persistent and consistent in what you do. And also there's like a lag time, but I'm not going to be like, oh, well, it's just this one thing. It's constantly changing. What I have just noticed, which is consistent, is you have a reach, you increase your reach, you do certain things to increase your reach, you get is interaction, you interact with your people. That's pretty much it. Like,
Right.
and you have to understand is you have it up, it's going to cumulatively like gain more and more.
Yep.
And sometimes, like in some platforms, you'll hit a wall because that's just how it is. But past a certain point of hitting a wall, it'll actually grow again. So it's sort of like, you just got to be persistent. It will leave recordings. Like, I record on my draw stream. Sometimes I don't have people watching it actively all the time on one platform. Does that mean I say, oh, screw this platform? It's like other people will watch it. I've gotten like lots of likes after, like, a couple of days to a week after I do the stream. But it's just like, and sometimes they'll leave comments. I mean, it's long overdue, but it's like, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you cannot go and just say it's one thing. So it's like when I look at an artist, it's like, okay, they're good. Can they interact with people? Like, what kind of a following do they have? Do they have a big enough following? Do they fit? What works out? Like, what's the dynamic here? And again, it's like, you don't have to 101K or 10K followers. You can literally, like, I've seen people successful having a lot of followers when they're like 3,000, 4,000, and also with some of the people that, like, on certain platforms, if you hit a certain number, then it'll actually boost it.
Right.
But it's like variable. Like, you just have to kind of spread it and just keep spreading it and just be persistent about it.
Right.
That's why I've just never been a fan of people going like, oh, well, blah, 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 and this, and this,
Right.
It's like,
So
I'm at this.
For Asian invasion stuff, have you noticed the growth on that, or have you?
I have. I mean, it was actually successful last year.
Okay.
And it was fun last year, so it actually pulled in a pretty decent crowd. And
Right.
there were people like taking pictures of us and videotaping and showing the crowd. I mean, I actually had one artist like ask me, "Oh, can you show me any old pictures and stuff?" And
Right.
we were too busy, honestly, at the time to take a lot of pictures like during the event. But thank God we had enough people that we knew that actually would come to us in the event, did put up a dialogue, and they actually videoed it and put it up on Instagram. I said, "Yeah, just tag me." So like when I show or put me as a collaborator. So when I would show them when I would show people like, yeah, this is what we've done, they would have an idea of the vibe. Because some
Right.
of the artists want to figure out the vibe of it too, which is
Right.
fine. And it's been pretty small, so it's not been like hundreds of tables and stuff where you have
Right.
to generate. It's just more of like, okay, we're at 5, maybe we could do 7, maybe we could do more. So
Does it feel like a community event for this?
I think so. Yeah, like some people have actually like asked like, oh, when are you going to do it again? And
Uh,
it's like they just go insane. They're like, "Oh, this is so great," and everything.
right.
So,
Yeah. It's an introduction to stuff. What are your tips for somebody new, like a young artist who's Asian, who wants to get into this and all the other stuff? What are your what are their path? Let's get it this way. What do you think?
well, I would say the path is not always one way.
Yeah.
First of all, stop limiting yourself. What I've seen consistent is you be persistent, you work on your stuff, you stay in your own lane. And I don't mean be quiet, don't do anything. It's just definitely put yourself out there. But there's a lot of things that can be distracting. Like, unfortunately, with the internet, we have people. For a while, it's quieted down, but they would get into stupid ass fights on X all the time.
Yeah.
Now it's like, don't do that. That's stupid. I mean, sometimes I would joke with people, like they would say they hated Demon Bitch, but they were a friend of mine, and we would
Yeah.
joke off because we knew that they were joking. But in all fairness, just keep spreading your stuff wherever relevant. Like, don't post to a lot of groups and then piss them all off or something. I mean, sometimes I have
Yeah.
like not been able to post in a group because it was like so many different rules, even though I looked at it carefully. Um, Actually, Reddit couldn't deal with Demon Bitch, so they kind of like blocked my IP for a while. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. But then I hear like people are sharing my work on Reddit anyway. I'm like, all right, I don't care, fine, whatever, that
Right.
works. So I've been doing that on Reddit. I've been spreading it all around, like on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Um, I said Instagram, Facebook groups, the Facebook groups, and things like that, and it's just been great. So it's
Just be
been.
disciplined in your kind of thing. Is that what the right? That's
Yeah,
that's
just kind of just put it to many platforms as possible, but
right.
keep at it and be consistent. It's
Right.
like also if you want to do a comic and you're like, oh, I have to do all these comics. It's like you can work on other projects, but if you really want to put out your own comic, you can stick to one or two characters. Like when you really look at it, like a lot of the people that are known for stuff, and I'm not saying known for drawing other people's stuff, and I'm not saying that's one is synonymous, but if you look at people that are known for doing things in comics, like you have Silvestri does Witchblade and the Darkness, that's what he's known for. I mean,
Mhm.
he's known for doing Cyberforce and
Yeah.
other stuff,
Yeah.
but the main few that he has done is Cyberforce, Witchblade, and my brain farted.
Yeah.
Witchblade and the Darkness.
Yeah.
You look at Todd McFarlane, what's he known for? Spawn.
Yeah.
He's drawn other stuff. Like he's known for drawing Batman and all the other. I mean, the cover for Spider-Man,
Mhm.
that was actually really famous. But what's he known for doing? Spawn. That's what started that whole thing of his own IP. What does he do consistently now? Spawn. They're like, well, he does Twitch, and I forgot the other guy's name. I'm terrible at names, but the two detectives in Spawn. It's like,
Yeah.
that's still part of Spawn. That's still part of the Spawn universe. Oh, Scorch. That's
Yeah.
still part of the Spawn universe. It's like Spawn. That's it. What he's known for. You have like Eric Larson. He does Savage Dragon. That's pretty much all he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so he's known for IP. Like, I mean, Liefeld, he's known for drawing a lot of Marvel characters and Cable and Deadpool primarily. But, he's done Youngblood, he's done Brigade, he's done all these other things. But I think now, like for him, the focus is more on Deadpool. Like
Yeah.
that's his thing. Although he's done a lot of Deadpool and Cable. They kind of, I think he co-created them or something. I'm not going to get in a fight with him. I'm just saying that I know he's had his hand primarily in those, but it's like those Marvel characters, even though he had his own studio. You have other ones like, but you know, it's like you have Lomita Jr. He's been known to draw
Yeah.
these things specifically. Like Marvel, the other ones are kind of primarily known for drawing these groups of characters. Like you had George Perez, who was drawing more of Teen Titans. Like that was the thing he was known to do, even though I don't know, did he create the Teen Titans or not? I forgot. But I don't think he did create the Teen Titans, but he drew their look. He was known for their look and Nightwing. And if he did create any of them, I would stand corrected. I'm just saying from what I know of his work, but he's known for doing the Teen Titans. He's known for doing Nightwing of that era. So there you go on that. So it's like kind of like it's weird how you get to be known for like Jay Lee does a lot of art for like Batman and Superman and just it's mostly the DC stuff that I see him known for. I know he's done his own stuff, but it's like mostly DC. David Mack was, even though he's like the guy has done everything, but he's mostly known for Marvel characters, but especially he got big about his own IP, Kabuki. That was his thing because it was like this total multimedia experience. He's a nice guy, but it's like interesting how that happened that way. So what you get to be known for is what you get to be known for. So as I said, it's like with artists that are starting out, you go with what works for you. And so like if you say, oh, you got to do the big two, no, you don't. I mean, that's kind of how the Image guys got their start, but it doesn't mean it's everything. They jumped off and did their own thing. So if you get picked up by DC and Marvel at a great rate or Image, go for it, do it. But you know, if you feel the need to jump off and do your own thing, then do it at the right time or whatever's right for you. Sometimes you have to go and be open to evolving into roles. Like for me, I thought I'll just be an artist. That's all I want to do. Then I started writing and I found I was actually kind of good at it. So there you go. I did Sepulcher and I've got to actually do another book, but it's like pulling the trigger to go on it has been hard with a second book because I kind of held myself kind of like at a high standard and it just came out, Sepulcher. But it is going to be done. I wrote it, but I have to sit down and actually get the trigger together. But with this one,
let me ask you too. Right? Let me ask you too. Okay, I'm a 62-year-old man. Okay.
Okay.
I want to retire in let's say 2 years or so.
Okay.
And I want to make my own art. I want to make my own comic books. And I want to earn some income.
Also what?
Earn some money, income.
Okay.
So what's my? Is it the? Now I realize I'm recognizing myself, recognizing you really need to be. You really need a hustle, right?
Yeah.
You really need to work hard. It's just, I mean, so what's your advice for me? What can I make? Can I? Is it what is in 2 years? Is there going to be opportunity even for someone like me?
I would think so. I mean, Colonel Sanders didn't make it big until he was 65. And it was over fried chicken, so there you go. I mean, it like with that guy, it's like funny because he got famous for his fried chicken, but when the freeways hit, he had a kid to close his restaurant because it was not on the freeway. So he lost business, but then enough people ate it that they said, "Hey, you want to do your own franchise?" And he said, "Okay." So he did it, but then after a while, Kentucky Fried Chicken started to really suck. So he said, "Okay, fine. You know what? I'm going to go and like retrain them how to do fried chicken and show them how to do it and actually up the quality of the restaurant for a period of time." So I would say this, like, for me, you create your own IP, you keep at it, right? And then after a year or two of doing it and being consistent, you could do other work too, like work on anthologies, create other books and all that. And then what I would recommend after a year is do your own Kickstarter. People think, oh, Kickstarter just gets me money and shit. It does, but it's also there to grow your brand. Think of it as an investment of your time to go and cater to a crowd. Because the thing is that in Kickstarter, they have a good SEO that basically directs people to your product, whatever it is. That's why how you classify it. So, and with that, with a Kickstarter, you just go and you price out your book, you price out everything. I would say start at a small cost, like a 500 to 1,000, right? And you do that, you go through it, do another one next year if the year is good, and then up it a bit, you know. So you think about it as growing your company in that way or your reach. In the meantime, consistently put out work about your stuff. Like if you want to do an art book or things, you can continuously do that. Just post your stuff up on Instagram and all across social media. Just put it up there. Yeah, here's this, blah, blah, blah. And you kind of analyze your niche, like in terms of like, if you do landscape drawings, okay, well, all right, let me see who does all the landscape and painting stuff. And you just put it all in the groups there, put up in your website, do draw streams. Like you can do a draw stream where you can draw and then stream, and then people can, like, you can have a list of like people that can commission you or not. Or, you know, you have a Ko-fi, you can even put up a Patreon, like, hey, here's these exclusive drawings that I do. Now, in whatever order you do, it's not guaranteed like exactly what order will work, but those are options. You can do them all at once, or you can do a few at a cluster at a time. And like people say, oh, Facebook sucks. Oh, this sucks. You know, really go where your platform is. That's what I think. I mean, there's some platforms that I think are like better than others, but there's other ones that take time to grow. But I would say, like, why not go and like you already have a healthy Instagram and YouTube following, so like do draw streams. Twitch has a draw stream too. So it's kind of like, you know, you have a healthy following there, go on there.
Naman, you got to remember that Christie and I got into comics because we want to be billionaires, and we're still working at it, right?
Right. But at the same time, I haven't lost faith because, you know,
I know.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. Hey, TM. Hi, Michael. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Christie, in your opinion, how important is copywriting and trademarking your work? And is it difficult? It's really not. Just go to the copyright office. I think last time you could do up to 10 works and copyright your artworks. Just put it in a PDF and give it to them. It's about 50, 60 bucks. I would just do it. You have inherent copyright where you draw it, but I would say as soon as you can, if it's going somewhere, copyright your stuff.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, because what will stand up in court? You inherent copyright can stand up in court, but it's harder to prove. Your actual copyright that you file with a copyright office in America. I'm talking to an American audience. I don't know, Canadian audience is different. I'm sure they have kind of a like system, but the American, it's like go to the Library of Congress, go get it copyrighted there. It's not that expensive.
Do you copyright your stuff?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, she has to.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Besides, if you've run into things where they kind of are borderline, people are kind of bringing it to your attention, write a nice letter. I'm going to say nice to the editor and say, hey, I've been having people point this out to me. Here's the copyright number. Just letting you know.
You have to do that? You actually had to do that?
I actually have had to do that. I wasn't a dick about it because, you know, you just don't want to start off being a dick. I mean, it's like for me, it's like a grace note. Say, hey, I have a copyright number. I have the date, and this precedes this. So you might want to not watch it like you're threatening them, but just say, you might want to take a look into this because this is kind of, people are beginning to see that this is looking like the same as this character, and I would rather not us have an issue with it or something. Like, just be nice. Just let them know, hey, this is happening.
So how old is it trademark?
I say mine is about 10 years.
10 years. So you got about, what, 50 years left?
I think so.
It's usually 50 years after your death.
Yeah.
Oh, years after your death. Okay.
Yes, it's 50 years after your death.
So is it what transfer to your children?
The estate, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like your estate. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be. I don't know if Tarzan is open source now, but it's still to the state though. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not a expert in copyright law, which is funny because you kind of have to know about it. But the intricacies of copyright law, you kind of have to talk to them about it.
There's certain section of the IP that becomes public domain after 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah, like Steamboat Willie, that's
Yep.
open source, but the character Mickey Mouse itself is not open source.
Yeah.
So you can't start drawing Mickey Mouse that isn't Steamboat Willie. Like if it's Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse, that's open source, but Mickey Mouse itself is not open source. So you can't draw an 80s Mickey Mouse and well, it's open source. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Now, what's her name? What's her name? Thing, Thing. She had these Chinese story retold, right? She cannot have a. Can she have a copyright her version of those stories copyrighted, or because they are public property, everybody can just do whatever they want with it.
it's kind of weird. Okay, so I'll go on something like Fa Mulan, right? Fa Mulan is a Chinese story.
Right.
Now, Disney has, Mulan that's based off of Fa Mulan with some creative differences. That design version that Disney did is copyrighted, but the character itself is not copyrighted. So you can draw another story of Fa Mulan if you want. You just can't imitate Disney's copy of it. Disney's version of it. You cannot copy that version of it. It's kind of like this ties into another one, like Winnie the Pooh. Yep. That went open source, but not Disney's version, which had the red shirt.
Yep.
So you can copy A.A. Milne's thing and use his character, but not Disney's version. Even though it's taken from A.A. Milne and it's adapted. But you can't take the character design of Winnie the Pooh from Disney. You can use the original illustration of Winnie the Pooh where he didn't have the shirt, but the Disney version of Winnie the Pooh you cannot do. You cannot take it as yourself and do as you will. There has been a fine line with Marvel and DC and Disney where technically fan art, they haven't enforced the copyright, but they can do it at any time. They've just been nice about it because it's sort of, they view it as free publicity or kind of thing. But technically you are infringing on copyright if you do fan art. And if you do a piece of fan art that especially Disney does not like or approve of, they can come after you. They've done it a couple of times. They don't do it with everybody, but they have done a couple of occasions where I've heard that they've done it. Yeah. But overall,
if artists isn't selling the original art as a fan art, I mean, they're not selling a prints of it and all that. I mean, is it worthwhile for them to pursue,
I would personally, and I've heard this and I advocate it, do your own original work. Now, does that mean you can never do fan art? I think if people commission you, and obviously if Marvel or DC employs you, you're going to draw it, but it's like, it's kind of this weird thing that I don't know if Locke, if you have more experience with this. I've not worked with Marvel or DC. I don't know if you have, or Image. They have, each company has their own thing you probably have to sign. So I cannot tell you it's this, it depends on the licensing. It depends on the permissions you're given.
The contracts are different depending on a different artist at different time. So I draw stuff for Marvel and Star Wars, but there's a limit to what I can draw. I still have to follow their rules because it is their characters. I'm allowed to draw them, right? As a fan art stuff, if I do a cover, right, and it's a retail variant, it's approved by Marvel. Now, here's the thing. I cannot merchandise it. I cannot put it on T-shirts. I cannot put it on any stuff. There's all these rules and regulations. Now, I can sell the prints at a show, but I have to limit it. I have to say it's a limited print or special edition run. That's allowed.
Are you licensed? That's the thing. I think that's a factor too. If you
that's
are a
different thing, yes. Yeah, depending on the licensing that I got from them. But if I do a cover for a book, it's a retail variant, right? I'm allowed to sell prints of that because I don't have the original art. Everything's all digital. So there's that creative, right? Now, because I'm drawing for Tops and Upper Deck and stuff, right? If I'm drawing Star Wars characters, and if somebody commissions me to draw Luke Skywalker murdering babies or something like that, my contract is null and void. I can't do that, right? Now, if you're just an artist and somebody commissions you, but you don't have that, you don't work for them. Yeah, you can draw that, but you're just walking into that territory where Disney has sent cease and desist to
Yeah.
artists, right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
do not want
Yeah.
Disney to go after you. They got more lawyers than.
Well, yeah, they're the
Yeah,
big company. It's like
yeah,
I've seen some people draw some pretty explicit shit with Disney. I won't get
yeah,
into it, but
yeah, exactly.
and like some of that stuff, but they're not really licensed. They just are artists that are doing it,
Yeah,
and they're commissions usually, or
yeah,
they're just, like whatever. But it's like when you kind of hit that territory of being professional with them, like a licensed artist, or you have to sign a contract, you actually have to follow more rules.
yeah,
And it depends on the company. Locke is telling us about his experiences
yeah,
and his personal experiences with Marvel. It could be very different with DC or Image. And
yeah,
again, I can't jump there. I haven't been that way, but I have signed NDAs with art,
yeah,
just not with those companies. But it's sort of like if I drew a parody thing, yes, I could be covered under law with parody. But if I was licensed through Disney, I probably couldn't do those things. So
yeah.
it's like
You
they're
can't
very
do
strict.
it. There's a fine line, right?
Yeah, like
Once
it's
once
very
they
strict.
see it, yeah, they once certain stuff we have to scrub from their Instagram before we get the gig for it, right? And
Right.
that's how it works, right?
Yeah, like
They have that image because they already put the money in for the branding and stuff, right? So like for your own characters, you can do whatever you want. You already have the license for it and the whole bit, right? And that's where she has to draw a line too. Like, how do you track down if somebody's like almost infringing on your stuff, or do you
you
even know, or did somebody just tag you in a.
sometimes people have let me know. But overall, like if people want to draw fan art of my stuff, it's fine. I think
Right?
it's fine because they'll draw a demon bitch. Like one guy drew her all sexy. I said she's disgusting, but okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
I
great advertising, right? So that's, yeah,
I mean, like this is like my thing is like sure, why not publicity on that
right,
level? So it's not like I kind of I don't know. I think that it's interesting because it's like there's also this thing like if you're the creator and then you have which then you then sorry not which like if you have your own creator but somebody does fan art and they just kind of do it for fun, like you
that's
can't
hard.
go
Yeah,
after everybody that just does it for fun.
yeah,
So I think up to a point, like yeah, you can be a total dick and then just say like, oh yeah, you can't do it, it's copyrighted, but it's like it's not worth it to send a cease and desist to everybody that just draws a fan art.
yeah,
Like it's one thing if you're doing it and you're copying my work to sell for money as your own original creation, I would draw the line there.
right.
Or it's too similar to it.
Yeah,
I think like those like I think there's a certain percentage, but I mean I don't have the guidelines or the image like Disney requires to keep because I've known some friends. Yes, I know. Some friends that work for Disney, and they've told me perfectly Disney has a very set of guidelines just because I mean they do more mature stuff like X-Men 97, like they're able to put stuff in there they weren't able to put
yeah,
when we were kids because like it was more for children. Now the children have grown up and now you can put more adult stuff in there, but even Disney has a certain thing, like even though technically X-Men 97 is for children, it's also marketed for
yeah,
more mature adults. And even certain behaviors that even the showrunners are do and everything, they taken it that they're that strict. Like the original showrunner, he got in trouble because of some stuff that was going on. It wasn't just because because he's gay, so he's saying oh they're doing it because I'm gay. I'm just saying what's been publicly said, but it wasn't really that because later on you found out he was doing questionable things and people didn't like that, and Disney had that image to keep up. So depending on the company, they're very strict about certain things. So I know Disney, they're very family friendly, even though they're very progressive. They do not like certain things. That's what I know in drawing. Like you can't draw Mickey and Minnie banging or something like that. I'm going to be very obvious. And you be a licensed artist, they will take that away from
oh
you.
yeah, they'll
You can't draw like I'm taking the most disgusting things and
yeah,
putting them together just to show you hyperbolically what you cannot do. Like
yeah,
I know people that are licensed Star Wars artists. They cannot draw Luke and Leia in questionable positions, like
yeah,
that type of stuff, because they have guidelines that they have. Like if you
You're
are
no
they have,
slave. Yeah.
No, you can do slave Leia as long as it's not
Yeah.
explicit, whatever. Like
Question.
if you are a licensed artist of Disney / Marvel, I know especially they're very anal about the artwork you put out if you're licensed.
Yeah.
Like they have
I
a
can't, like right now, like I can't draw not safe for stuff. It doesn't have to be Disney related. It doesn't have to be
yeah,
Marvel related. It could be anything, right? I cannot get involved with internet spats and all this other stuff
yeah,
if I want to keep that contract, right?
yeah. Like that's another reason why the original showrunner of
Yeah,
X-Men '97 got fired too, because he would get into fights with people, and
yeah,
Disney does not like that. I mean, as I
yeah.
said, yeah,
It
it's like,
becomes
hmm? Sorry,
no,
I
no,
apologize.
no. It becomes, yeah. It becomes aligned. They do give you that line. They give you like the contracts that I got to sign and all that stuff every time I do a project for
Yeah,
them. This. No lewd stuff. No, they got no blood, no eating food, no all this other stuff. All these fine points that you have to follow, right? And that's why, like a lot of the artists who start off new, who start off with this stuff, they don't read through that contract.
yeah,
They start doing this stuff, then all of a sudden they find out their contract's been canceled, and they don't
yeah.
know why.
Yeah, you have to be careful and look also if there's a code of conduct thing,
Yeah,
because I know especially with Disney and Marvel, well now they're the same company, but
yeah.
you
They're a
cannot
lot
be.
stricter now. They're a lot stricter now with
Yeah, well, especially with the internet and like for a while, like a lot
yeah,
of Marvel creators, like I've noticed, and
yeah,
again, it might be somebody else, but a lot of Marvel creators would get into fucking stupid ass fights with
yeah,
people, and it's just like no stop,
yeah,
you know. It would be over the most stupidest stuff too. So it's like I think because I know people kind of get this thing that drama should be a thing to blow you up in a good way and fame. And it has worked for people. I mean, look at WWE. But the thing is that it only goes so far because if you have a habit of turning on people on social media, then people are not going to want to hire you because they're like, oh, what about you coming around and bad mouthing us, the
yeah,
company? So, and that has happened before to all the companies. That has happened. Like when they've hired people and then they start trashing whatever the thing, and they think, oh, I can express all free opinion. It's like, you better read that conduct clause in your
yeah,
company because what if your companies have that?
yeah. Like that. That's cool. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any question there, Norman? For should we talked about our
Yeah,
Kickstarter?
I think I need to close up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sure. I know we tend to just
Yeah.
chat like all that.
Yeah.
So your Kickstarter campaign, we got the link in the chat there.
Yeah. And sign up for it so you guys can get notified when I do it. Hopefully in the next couple of months, I'll have a better idea.
Okay, so that I was going to ask you, what's your target date for that?
Mhm.
You're going to run it for a month?
About a month, 30, 35 days.
Yeah, I noticed Kickstarter has that new options where you can run it after the deadline, just in
I've
case.
heard of that. I have not implemented that yet, but I
Yeah, a
have.
friend of mine has been doing that, and basically you charge like an extra little bit more because it's right, and apparently you get the funds right away, even after
Oh,
you're
nice. But
which
this is only after you make goal, right?
after you make gold. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because if you don't make goal, then it doesn't do it.
that's right. So you need to look into that. That helps out a lot, right? And you up that rate. You tell after the goal you up that because that makes a little bit more sense because that will cover certain expenses and stuff like that, right?
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
yeah, but yeah,
Nice.
so you're looking at maybe a couple months. So people should click on the link and hit the notification for that, and you'll send that update. Then yeah, you figured out all your stretch goal stuff yet, or still
Not
working?
yet. As I said, I was waiting for the tariffs in China to kind of like go down and
All right,
stabilize before I started like ever thinking about extra merchandising. Because the thing is, like they released, I think it was shuffled ink or
right,
print. No, it was print ink because they do a lot of overseas in
right,
China. And what was actually nice is that they kind of listed out what was tariffed or not, because not everything was tariffed in China.
right,
So printed materials like comic books or graphic novels, I think it was graphic novels at the time. They said, okay, I think it was on their website or one of the Facebook things that they put
post,
out. They just said, oh yeah, yeah, you can do that, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to be tariffed. But other things like game boards and cards and things. So I wanted to wait until it was a lot less restricted and all
right,
over the place before I actually freely started thinking about it.
Right.
But I
Do you
have
have
the
anything you can give your audience right now? Like anything, one of the
well, I
stretch
also
goals you think it might be cool that somebody might be keep an eye out for, that kind of stuff?
Well, I have the omnibus and I have the graphic novel.
Right.
One thing I did think of, because I actually made this a while ago, but it is not Demon Bitch. But I thought, I'll throw it in anyway. But I have this tarot deck that I designed called Murder Ballads.
Okay.
So Murder Ballads is actually an album from Nick Cave. Now, it is not derived from the Murder Ballads. It's just I kind of like the name, and it's not Nick Cave at all. But it's like kind of my drawings on it. So it's like if you are not into the Demon Bitch, but you really want a real tarot deck, not the shitty tarot from Demon Bitch. That's another thing that I have. I was thinking of actually doing a lanyard that was kind of like this evil looking lanyard that you can wear.
Right.
So it's just a bunch of Satan around your thing or
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's not, I'm not a Satan worshiper. I'm going with Demon Bitch. Come on. Just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
it's just like kind of like the demonic silly shit and everything.
Right.
But yeah, but I'm thinking of one more thing. It's just at the time I kind of hit a wall to figure out what to do as well. Because
Right.
as I said, managing the tariffs, managing the artwork, I'm like, okay, let me take a moment to walk away from this and see what's there.
Are you going to offer a digital tier for international people who might?
Definitely, yeah. That saves my butt because sometimes even with domestic, some people are like, the postage rates are way too high. I can't justify this. I said,
Yeah.
okay, here's digital. Can you do that? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And they're happy about it. So
Yeah, like a $10 comic book for me now from the state is like a $34 cost on
Right.
top for shipping just to get across Canada. So
Yeah.
that's just not worth it, right? So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
digital tier, expect that. For what else should I ask you about the campaign? Campaign will run for 30 days for a month or so,
Yeah,
but you're looking at launching in 2 months or so, and you're gonna make I guess announcements as you go through, as you figure out the stuff like
yeah.
that.
It will be actually. It will be in tier. It will be as I said. I also was waiting for the prices to stabilize because I don't want to be. Oh, buy this book. Oh crap, that's gonna kill me in cost and everything. So I just wanted the prices to stabilize. But that should be the prices that I have should be still consistent. Like I've been trying to price it where it's not like it raises above my other books and everything. And I've been wanting to plan for the omnibus accordingly because it's going to be hardcover. So I was for cost of, but I am planning to probably put a couple more things on there. But I wanted to kind of wait until everything solidified until all that stuff was.
So the omnibus itself is basically your catch up for.
Yeah, like so if it's like you weren't able to get all 5 books or you don't have 5 books, I'm not saying buy each one. It's like you can just get one.
Right.
And it's a hard.
And that would be like an add-on if I needed to or something like that.
Yeah, if you wanted to do it. I mean, I'm not stopping you guys. If you want to buy extra shit from me, that's fine.
Right.
Like, hey,
it doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
So where can they contact you?
He has our shop, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like also my shop you can do that. But yeah, any of the other platforms you are welcome to contact me or DM me on. But I would say the best way is just contact me through the Linktree contact form, or you can go ahead and go to my shop. It should be in my Linktree, and you could buy stuff and everything. Yeah, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I usually have a good idea, and usually I advertise it a few months in advance, but I'm just kind of it kind of annoys me because it's like, as I said, the whole tariff thing threw me off, and it was like, so it's like waiting on that for things to stabilize before I did it, because it was supposed to come out this year earlier, and it's like, oh no, it's not. I'm like, oh no.
Are you gonna have local pickup option for people who are around your area or in LA?
Possibly, but I don't know. I think I'm more preferring of mailing it. Like with some people that I know, I'll be like, hey, we'll drop it off if it's people I know. But if it's people that just ordered it, whatever. I mean, most people didn't care about the cost of shipping if they just came and visited me at a con. I'll provide an option I'm at a con near you, you ordered it, I'll bring it over and I'll give it to you and everything. And I'll pack it away separately and just make sure you get it. So it's a big package. So it's a package all. But if it's if it's one of those things where, I don't know you, but you supported me, I'm like, oh, I'll mail it because sometimes it's like time consuming. Like I've had 200 orders at once, and it's just like I gotta pack all this shit. It's like crazy.
I know the logistic afterwards and everything
Right,
else too, right?
right,
Oh
right.
yeah,
And
so there you go, everybody. Just hit up. My eyesight is horrible, but yeah,
yeah, I sign all the things too. So if it's anything print, I'll sign it, and I like kind of I'll bag and board it up and send it over to you. Like they're all graphic novels. They're pretty beefy. Like somebody actually took one of the graphic novels and folded it in half. The post office, even though I said, even though it was a rigid mailer, they just folded it in half and put it in her mailbox, and she was so pissed. She wasn't mad at me, but luckily the book flattened out actually pretty good.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Lenormand style deck, and it's fun talking about it. But the one I have will be a traditional tarot deck, but it will not have Demon Bitch. That's why I kind of was hesitating to see what else I would put up there.
That's awesome. So, when is your next? What's are you doing a next show? When's your
I,
next one?
I will be doing Asian Invasion on the 12th of July, and then the week after that, I will be at San Diego Comic Con.
Right. No other show in between after that, or just
Not for right now. I mean, I'm open to it, but it's like as I said, I'll see how it plays per day.
right? Okay. There you go. Right. So everybody, just make sure you back to or get notification of the campaign. You know where to reach Christie. Uh, yeah, and all the other stuff. Right.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it for. That's all I have question wise, anyways, and stuff.
Hey, thanks for coming by, Chris.
Thank you
Shin.
so much.
And yeah, we have we have all her links here. I'll put them there. Right now it's not there, but I'll put them all in there. And yeah, and visit us again, especially when
Oh, that's sweet.
that what is that thing?
Asian Invasion and 712 Martial Arts History Museum in Glendale, California.
Glendale. Oh man, I haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, I know. It's 12 to 5. The hour is
Yeah.
12 to 5 Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, come on by. The event is free.
Yeah, the event's free, and it's the martial art museum too, so you get to see all the. I guess this is something I got to look up afterwards.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really
Oh,
cool. If you go to Asian Invasion venues, you can click on it and you can see
Right.
what's going on with that.
Yeah, because I want to see. Eventually, I got a signed picture by what you call it with Bolo, the guy that played Bolo with Bruce
Oh,
Lee.
Bolo Young, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's actually his name, Bolo Young. It's
Yeah,
Bolo
Bolo
Young.
Young. It was so
That
good.
dude is like 70 something now.
The reason I got it signed was he looks like my dad.
all right,
Yeah.
all right, Chad. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for
Thank you guys. Thank you,
Guys.
Locke. It was good to see you again. Thank you.